So as a, pretty much dedicated iPhone user, a lot of you out there who have been following my channel probably already know that I'm about like neck deep in Apple devices. But even with that in consideration, I could not deny the beauty, the versatility, and the overall uniqueness of the new Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. And it was to the point that I kind of like wanted to test things out and see if I could like convert over and use the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus as my daily driver permanently. So therefore, here is my Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus review from an iPhone user's perspective. Now, if you're excited about what I have in store for this video, go ahead and let me know by hitting that like button down below right now. And without any further ado, let's talk. So I really debated my approach for this video, and I decided to take this outlook based upon a lot of the comments and questions you all had in my Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus unboxing video, because it seemed like a lot of you were also considering the switch. So for starters, I just gotta say, this device is gorgeous. Gorgeous to the point I do feel it looks better than my iPhone 7 Plus. I mean, it just makes me want to do a double take because it has this unique, practically bezel-free infinity display where the screen literally spills over into the side and the top of the bottom bezels, which are pretty much almost non-existent, especially with this black model. Now, it packs a 6.2-inch AMOLED display, so colors are going to pop that much more, and they can always be adjusted via settings along with the resolution, because out of the box, it's not even set to its maximum resolution. Now, me personally, I really enjoyed consuming media on my Galaxy S8 Plus. And that's because the videos just looked extra sharp and vibrant, like just super colorful. Now, I know some people have stated that they don't care for the way the video seems to spill over the edge when they're watching videos, but me personally, I didn't mind it. And you can always stretch out your videos in things like YouTube, as the aspect ratio is a bit off from what we're used to. But quite honestly, even with the bars on the side, it wasn't a terrible experience because it just kind of blended in with the frame of the phone. So at times it was like I didn't even notice the bars were there. Now, Samsung got laughed at for their, so to speak, Frankenstein introduction to phablets. But now just about every company has a phablet option, so I'm just crossing my fingers that they also adopt this idea of an infinity display or like a bezel-free phone, because I'm in love with it. Now, the interesting thing here is that although the device has a larger display than my iPhone 7 Plus, it still managed to be the same height as my Plus. But in contrast to that, it's slimmer. So I was able to comfortably hold the S8 Plus a bit easier than I could my iPhone, which made the switch more enjoyable as I gained more screen real estate in what felt like a smaller package. I also noticed that I could manage more thumb reach with one-handed use, as I didn't have to battle with the width of the phone as much. And I didn't have to battle with the location of the power button either, as it is located along the right-hand side. Familiar placement. And it was also nice to have a headphone jack again, even though I predominantly use Bluetooth headphones at this point. Now, the charging port, which is USB-C, is along the bottom, and then right next to it is a very tiny, poor excuse of a speaker. I mean, it just didn't sound as premium as the rest of the phone looks. Things didn't sound rich and full, as music on the low end didn't really have any bass, and mids and highs sounded just kind of muffled. But needless to say, I've heard better and expected more. But looking at the opposing side of the device, the top of the Galaxy S8 Plus allows you to expand the memory with an area for 1 nano SIM and 1 micro SD slot. And then along the back of the device, you have an 8 megapixel camera, flash, and a fingerprint reader that no one seems to like the placement of. Honestly, myself included. So I did find myself occasionally searching for that fingerprint reader or mistaking my camera for it, pretty much like everybody else, and I found it easier to naturally find it with my left hand, as it was closer to the scanner in comparison to the kind of awkward stretch that I would have to perform with my right index. But it's manageable, and there are other ways you can unlock your phone, such as facial recognition, your iris scanner, drawing a pattern, or simply typing a password. Now, in my case, I had it set to pattern, fingerprint, and iris, and that's predominantly because the face recognition just isn't secure. And I could choose from any of those 3 methods in which I set to unlock my phone. Now, oftentimes I would just use my fingerprint, as you do have to ensure the phone properly lines up with your eyes when you're going to use the iris scanner, which sometimes would actually require me to like realign my phone to the desired height that it needed to be, and plus you have to swipe the screen before it can scan them. So yeah, it's a small extra step, but it's one that you don't have to do if you choose to unlock your phone with your finger. But believe it or not, there was a button that actually messed me up more than the fingerprint scanner: Bixby. So along the right, you have your volume buttons, and then right beneath it is a dedicated Bixby button. And I guess I'm not used to having 3 buttons found along the left side, and would oftentimes kind of mistakenly hit the Bixby button when I'm trying to adjust my volume, and it would waste no time in firing itself up when I did. Now, it did give me some useful information at a glance, like my calendar, suggested apps, my music from Spotify, weather, and a few other things. And then you can also configure what's going to be seen here, which is a nice touch, as it's also integrated into other areas of your phone, like photos. So it can scan your pictures and give you information by identifying items in the photo and providing geographical information of things nearby. Or it can find similar items to the selected object in a photo, or even scanning an object and connecting you with retailers to purchase it, which is really nice for a ton of things. But it was still not an area of my phone that I found myself using daily. It was like an afterthought to access it. However, there's a ton of other things on this device to enjoy, such as a better icon design and the option to rearrange the bottom navigation bar in case you don't like the button placement. You also have Edge View to quickly access things like your apps, reminders, your calendar, notifications, contacts, and options found within your Smart Select, just to name a few. Now, the edge of your device can also light up when you receive notifications as well. And you can really squeeze more life out of your battery in a very detailed breakdown in the event you need to. Your quick toggles are only a swipe away, which might I add is a nice change from my iPhone, as you always had to go to settings or control center to only reveal just a few on and off switches. But on the Galaxy, or really most if not all Android devices, you can swipe down and get a ton of on and off toggles, which can be configured to add and remove options or download more from the Play Store. And the Galaxy S8 Plus also gives you dual audio, so you can connect 2 Bluetooth speakers to play audio through them simultaneously, and surprisingly it syncs up pretty well, so you can make an ordinary pair of Bluetooth speakers pretty much turn into a stereo pair. And if you wanted to feel more like an iPhone, you also have the option in settings to go ahead and remove the app drawer and make all the apps live on your home screen, or you can keep the app drawer turned on and access it the old-fashioned way via an icon, or you can swipe up on your phone. Now, something I'm a personal fan of on this thing is the split screen view, which really helps in the screen utilization department because you're getting more out of your workspace. So I would fire up a YouTube video of things like best apps and be able to browse the Play Store for them at the same time. Or I could easily jot down some notes as I watch the tutorial, which is super nice to get this from a phone versus a tablet or computer. Everything was super fast with practically no lag or hiccups, so accessing any and everything was truly a breeze, as relying on a text spec sheet doesn't always match up usage-wise to what you experience out of the box during day-to-day use. For those concerned about the battery, the performance was great, as I could get a full day of heavy use out of it, consisting of texting, video, and music streaming, a few calls here and there, leaving me shy of maybe about 20% by the end of the day kind of thing. And that camera is definitely amazing. It captured some really beautiful pictures and videos. The actual program itself has a nice, simplistic, clean interface with a ton of options beneath the surface. So you can basically do things like swipe down or swipe up to switch cameras, or swipe to access your color filters, stamps, and even face filters, which was cute, especially for kids. And it's a nice alternative from them hopping on your Snapchat. But it's things like this that pose more as cool things to show off versus really utilize. Now, swiping left will reveal more photo taking options like Pro Mode for those that are seeking a bit more control, an option that I wish was in the camera app on my iPhone without the use of a third-party alternative. You also have selective focus to add that nice depth effect, which looks pretty good, and colors were really accurate and vibrant with a strong emphasis in contrast. Selfies are nice and wide, capturing pretty much everything you desire and more, which is okay because I'd rather be able to cut things out if needed versus not having them at all. You can even create stories and invite people to them, which concept-wise reminded me a lot of the memory section on my iPhone, but with a little bit more control. Currently getting some shots for the Galaxy S8 video review.
Yes, stay tuned.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have since switched back to my iPhone. But I gotta tell you, Apple hit me with a little shade and savageness, because when I switched over to Android, my profile picture got changed to my contact card. So like my picture that I had there changed to an Android alien. I had never seen anything like that. And even when I switched back to my iPhone, it never gave me my profile picture back, so I still got that little alien there. So I was a little offended. I was a little offended. I found it kind of funny that they did that. But bottom line, you know, the reason why I switched back is that Apple ecosystem, the iMessage, the FaceTime, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you get the picture. I'm sure you already know. Now, I do know there are Android alternatives that I could use, but it's just like I'm not at that point in my life right now where I have the patience to kind of learn those things and actually stick with it. However, the Galaxy S8 Plus definitely makes it very tempting as it is such a solid quality device. It's currently my secondary phone and I love it. Do I recommend it for those interested in purchasing one? Yes. Plus, if you stack this phone next to a competitor, I feel, you know, off of design alone, your hands and your eyes are gonna go to the Galaxy S8 Plus first. That's just my opinion. It's just so different to what we're accustomed to seeing in the phone market right now. I'll honestly probably give it another go as my daily driver, but I don't know. Right now, I'm rocking my iPhone and maybe eventually I'll go back to this one. But even yet and still, I do recommend this to anyone out there who's considering purchasing one because it performed great in just about everything that I needed it to. But I'm curious, I want to know from all of you, what is your dream device right now? What phone on the market would you like to have right now in your hands as your daily driver? If you don't already have it. And if you haven't liked the video, go ahead and do so now and hit that subscribe button so you can stay updated for my latest content, as I do have that Nintendo Switch review dropping soon. And as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.